we'll start it. And we're going to get this kicked off. So, for those of you that are brand new, I know we've got some brand new social marketers. I want to be one of the very first to say, welcome to Modere. You made one of the greatest decisions of your life. You're on a team that is winning absolutely big in every way you can possibly imagine. And this is actually a call that we've done every Monday night forever. I know a lot of you guys are plugged in with your amazing teams, and this is just another great resource. And this is a call we've done almost for 10 years straight. And so we give you the very best on this call. We give you the very best 20 to 30 minutes, a very applicable, just inspiration, all kinds of goodness that you can apply into your business as you're rocking and rolling through your week, right? And so, guys, we've got a great Zoom lined up tonight. And for those of you that I have not had a chance to meet, my name is Sarah Zalecki. My husband, Tony, and I, we reside in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And tonight I have the honor of actually bringing on board just someone that Tony and I, we absolutely love. And I don't know, I'm so endeared to him. I actually feel like he's like my brother. And we have such an amazing relationship where we get a chance to tease each other, but we also know that we're just like we're each other's number one fan. You know, if he called me at 2 a.m. And said, you need to be here, I'd be there. And he would do the same for me. And we've taken arrows for each other. And I think that's one of the things that's so beautiful about Modere is that the relationships that you build. And guess what? We don't make a dime off each other. We're cross line. We support each other every way that we can. And so I asked him, I'm like, David, like, would you be willing to come on and just pour into these guys? And he said, absolutely. And so I'm super excited, guys, because now is just such an incredible time for us to be in conversation, talking to people about the business and just talking about what's getting ready to happen, right? You guys all know, like, this literally is a springboard for us to become $1 billion company. And I really believe it with every cell in my body. And so we want you guys to take full advantage of that. And so he's just got some great things he wants to share with you. You guys saw the topic, right? The topic of what we're going to be talking about. And so without further ado, guys, please help me give some love in the chat, give some, jazz hands, all kinds of good love for Elite 3, the one and only Mr. David Ciemny. So David, I'll go ahead and I'll pass the floor over to you.
Thank you so much, Sarah Z. I know why you guys have calls on Monday. It's because Tuesdays are for tacos. I figured it out. I love it. Thank you for having me.
You're on to us. You're on to us.
I figured you guys out. Well, I love you, sister. Appreciate you. And Tony so much. And I love seeing all the friendly faces on here, guys. We are going to go for a journey. Who's going to go for a journey with me for the next 25 minutes? Who's ready to be all in, be present, like eliminate distractions? Can we deep dive, like really go in for like 25 minutes, guys? Because I am so excited to share some of my heart. Sarah last week came onto our team call, and isn't it just like a great leader to light up a room? And when I saw Sarah pop on tonight with that yellow, I was looking for my sunglasses because she not only lights up a room with her wardrobe, her hair is on fire, collagen hair, but when she walks in, guys, take notes. There's a few people like this. We've got a lot in Modere, but very few have mastered the art of lighting up a room and lighting up a Zoom, baby. So we're going to light it up tonight and share some really cool things and hopefully get you guys thinking a little bit. Guys, I've been thinking a lot lately. When it's a new year, it's a reset. And I heard some stat that, like, I don't know, 90% of people have already, fallen off the wagon of their New Year's resolutions and everything else. And I was like, this year, guys, is not going to be that year. This is the year I write the book. This is the year I get, I get the rock stars. This is the year I go, elite black. It's like whatever that year is for you, it's nothing more than a decision. So I'm just ready to share a couple things that have been on my mind. One thing that I learned was just all these books you hear about the power of positive thinking and Think and Grow Rich. And, Zig Ziglar said, your attitude determines your altitude. Guys, every breakthrough that we have starts in our minds. And so when we start with our minds, it's important to understand neuroscience, this idea of neuroplasticity, where the brain can actually rewire itself in about 3 weeks with some simple exercises. And I've been deep diving. In fact, one of my mentors told me the key to success is repetition. Write that down. Dr. Shad Helmstetter told me that. He's the author of What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Actually, I have it right here. And if there's ever a book you wanted to read or needed to read or could read, it's this one. And he changed the world with this book. He influenced Zig Ziglar. He influenced every single modern person that talks about happiness, from Sean Achor, who wrote The Happiness Advantage, to Charles Duhigg, who wrote The Power of Habit. All these people have been influenced with him. And he has this process for taking stock of your habits, your thoughts, and starting to win the battle in your head. How many of you guys feel like you're your own worst enemies? The book is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Guys, just show of hands. I can't see your hands, but I'm just gonna guess that you've all had this before. When you're your worst enemy, your own worst enemy, your own self-critic, right? I'm never good at that. I don't remember names. I'm such a klutz. Well, it turns out, guys, from the day we're born, picture a nursery in a hospital. And in that nursery, there's all the little babies that are just born, these fresh brains right out of the womb, so ready for life. And imagine their brains have not been molded or melded, and their possibilities are endless. That's how we start life. That's how we start life. But here's what happens. As we start to grow up, there's music playing, there's messages playing, there's radio playing, there's television, there's messages, and then there's your parents and your brothers and your friends, and there's all these messages out there in the world. And guess what? Do you suppose most messages in the world are positive, or would you guess that the majority of messages that you hear are negative? What would you think would be the majority of negative messages and feedback that comes into your brain versus positive out there in the world? Guys, I don't know any study on this, but I'm going to tell you, I would venture to say that the majority of negativity in the world is somewhere around 70 to 80% of everything that we intake is some negative connotation from so many sources. Some families, it's worse. Some situations are different. But imagine what happens when we all of a sudden go through school and then we get into our careers, but we're carrying these messages from birth that we've been hearing. You can't do that. You'll never be that. Everyone that's ever called you stupid, or you're not good at, math, or you're not good at this. These words that say you can't. So I asked Dr. Shad recently, my mentor, and I said, like, how can we begin to just sort of start with a clean slate and go be the best we can be in our business, in our lives, in our marriage, in our family? How can we make decisions from a place of true positivity and impact when our brains are fighting a little war against us because of all the years of negative programming? And he said, here's the good news. You can change it in about 3 weeks. And that is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself, to mold itself, because the brain does not know the difference between truth and lies. If you tell yourself you can't for long enough, your brain will just believe that you can't, and it will not allow you to remember somebody's name. If you tell yourself for 3 weeks in a row, I am great at remembering names, eventually your brain will believe it. Everything you have heard, my friends, in the personal development space is true when it comes to the brain and the power of positive thinking. It's all true. I'm here to tell you. And it's not true because someone's trying to sell a book or a motivational course. It's true because the science proves it to be so. And so he taught a few techniques, guys. I'm going to share them with you, and then we're going to deep dive on the actual topic of this conversation. But I felt it very inspiring to be able to just start with like a high level decision that we can make when our brains may be telling us, well, that guy would never join me, or that person, why would he join me or she join me? When we're going to look for our best and brightest, we've got to be the best and brightest. If we want to attract the best and brightest, we have to be the best and brightest. So how can we do that? So the first step, guys, is to recognize. Number one is recognize. We got to recognize the negativity, recognize the self-limiting beliefs, recognize when we're talking to ourselves and others, by the way, we have to recognize when it happens. That's number one. You gotta remember it. Okay. When it happens, you got to recognize when it happens. Okay. And you can change your wiring. So number two, you can change your wiring. So number one is recognize that you're doing it. How many times have you seen somebody that is so deep in their negative self-talk disorder that they don't even know they're doing it? Oh, I meet those people all the time. Sarah and I, we are brother and sister, Sarah. Like, we're literally like this because you and I, we get it. We get it. Like, oh, here we go. It's another one of them self-talk disorder people. Let's get to work. And then it's like, we're like, okay, let's go. This is a concept, guys, that the entire world can master with some very basic training and programming. So number one is to recognize, and that's powerful. Number two, you can change your wiring. Okay. You can change it in about 3 weeks time. Okay. So number three is, it's called edit. All right. It's a process called editing. And in this process, the process of editing goes like this. As soon as you say one of those messages to yourself that you've been telling yourself for your entire life, I can't remember names, I'm not good at math, right? The second you say one of those programmed limiting beliefs in your mind to yourself, you got to stop and say the opposite. That's editing. You stop and say the opposite. I've got a great memory. I am amazing at math. Now, at first, your first instinct is, okay, Dave, yeah, I'm just lying to myself. Like, why would I lie to myself? Here's the difference, guys. Remember what I just said. The brain does not know the difference between a truth and a lie. It believes whatever you tell it. Wow, this changed everything for me. So this is the process, because your brain doesn't know. So if you tell your brain the truth long enough, that you are amazing at remembering names and you are great at math, you will become better at math. You will become better at your business, right? And number four, you got to do this for 3 weeks. 3 weeks to truly rewire the brain. You got to do this for 3 weeks. If you want to change the old programming, you have to be intentional about creating new programming. But here's the good news, guys. The new programming is nothing more than just self-talk. That's it. All right. I'm going to give you just one website you can go to. I know Sarah wanted me to keep this very focused, but this website, guys, nobody makes a penny from this. We got the thumbs up. It's called selftalkplus.com. I don't make a penny. It's not my website, not Sarah's. It's a generic, and it's Dr. Shad's, and it will help you rewire your brain. It's just a little tool. They have a free 30-day trial. Here's what's cool. It's free for 30 days. Only takes 3 weeks to reprogram your brain. Do it for 3 weeks, dump the trial, you pay nothing. So selftalkplus.com. All right, now let's shift gears. For years, I was programming myself with people like the Zaleckis and people like Prince and the Meltons and everybody else that's so fantastic in mode air. I was programming myself to believe that I couldn't attract that caliber of person. And something that my grandma used to say to me, my grandma Irene, she was my jam. And if I talk about her too much, I'll start bawling. But she told me something all the time. She said, if I had a gold mine, I'd give you a shovel. And it just made me think about this concept of life, where there's certain tools in life that will allow us to be our best selves. So the first thing is obviously telling ourselves we're the best, that we can achieve a breakthrough, that we're only one person away from a breakthrough. It's funny because I hear Tony say, I've heard him say that before, you're only one person away from a breakthrough, and that person is you. That is so true. For years, I flipped the script, and my tagline has always been, you're only one person away from a breakthrough. Any person in your business. And when you look at Modair and the journey of our businesses, you can look at any director one, any director two, any director three, any elite or higher, and you can say, who was your breakthrough? And they'll say, well, I got Laura, I got Sue, I got, okay. Every one of us that has done this business has had a breakthrough, And so what's our job? To go from one breakthrough to what? The next. But what's the X factor? Like, how do we go from one breakthrough to the next if it's 3 months, 6 months, a year? My thought, and here's the God's honest truth, as I enter my 7th year in the field from having transitioned to corporate, and I'm not going to go into my whole story, but I used to work with Ozma, the CEO. I was the 3rd employee of the collagen company that Modair connected with and we joined with. And in 2016, I went into the field and started at scratch, started from zero and just built this business. And I had a breakthrough. My first breakthrough was this girl named Amber, and she got to elite. And it was like, that was my first breakthrough. And then year 2, I had another breakthrough. Would you guys believe I have only literally had about 5 breakthroughs, true breakthroughs in my business, but yet I'm elite 3, platinum 3. I'm living the life of my dreams. I'm making more financially than I ever dreamed I would make. You know what I mean? Like I'm leading this team. I'm getting asked to speak on international stages. Like I'm like a mini Justin Prince. Gosh darn it. You know what I mean? Like I can do this. But here's the cool thing, guys. We are all capable of having a breakthrough, but we want our best and brightest. We don't need to try to bring people in like our broke cousin with a Impala on blocks who's so broke he can't pay attention. Think about who you want to attract, and let's think a little bit bigger, for crying out loud. Let's go after the chicken list. And so I got to thinking about this when I went on a field trip with my son, guys. My son Dawson, he just turned 11. We went up to Sacramento to Sutter's Mill where they discovered gold. And that quote of my grandma was in the back of my head. And she kept saying, like, if I had a gold mine, I'd give you a shovel. And sure enough, I found myself in a gold mine. And I told my son Dawson, I said, Dawson, grandma, you never got to meet her, but she used to tell me if I had a gold mine, I'd give you a shovel. And sure enough, the volunteer lady actually handed my son a shovel, and he pretended to like shovel out the dirt and the rocks out of the mine. And I just said, this just hit me. I am so capable that I don't even know how the sky is the limit. I don't even know how far I can go with this. And so that led me to another school of thought. And I'm going to share a little sneak peek. I've got about 10 minutes. I'm going to share a little sneak peek of what I'll be sharing with you guys at Social Retail Conference. Who's got their tickets to SRC? I hope you're all in, guys. I know Sarah's going to be there, and Tony, I know they'll be gracing the stage. They're incredible. There's so many incredible speakers. But Saturday morning, I get the privilege of kicking off Saturday and delivering a message. And I've been working through this message, but I want to give you guys a sneak peek because it's so powerful. And I hope that I plant a seed in your brains for this year, not only mentally where you can reprogram your wiring, but you'll see this analogy and see it through and remember this analogy. And so I started thinking about this concept of, if you can go get gold, maybe you could go get diamonds. Maybe you could go get diamonds. And I had that visual. Has anybody ever seen that visual of a guy in a tunnel with a pick, and he's digging through the tunnel and he quits right before there's all these diamonds on the other side and he walks away? Have you seen that visual? It's so powerful. And I got to thinking, well, where on earth, I mean, could you actually dig for diamonds? This is how geeky I am, because I love to travel, and I'm like, maybe I'll go to Africa and like dig for some diamonds. I literally thought, like, can you do this? So so I looked into it. Where do you think you could go to dig for actual diamonds? I got to read the chat. You would say what? Like the Congo, right? Like, okay, Sabrina, she gets it. Okay, this was news to me, guys. See, in like the 1920s, there was this field in Arkansas where they pulled a 40-carat diamond called Uncle Sam. 40 freaking carats. It's in the Smithsonian right now. And so the only place in the world that you can go literally dig for diamonds, it's open to the public, is in a little field, well, 37-acre field in Murfreesboro, Arkansas. It's called Crater Diamond State Park. It's not in Africa. Anyone can go. You pay a small entrance fee. You can bring any tools you want. Now, follow me on this analogy here. So the first thing I did when I found out about this field, I Googled it. And the second thing I did, I called up and talked to the park ranger, who happened to be Sarah. Not Sarah Zalecki. She wears her diamonds on her ears and blings it out. But I wanted to know, is this true? Is this true? Can you really just go in a field and find diamonds? And she's like, oh, yeah. I said, okay, give me the numbers. Like, and I said, just so you know, do you have a few minutes? She's like, oh, yeah, I've got all the time in the world. What would you like? I'm talking to the park ranger. Okay, so if I want to come dig for diamonds, when can I, how much is it? She's like, oh, it's like, $10. You come in the park. So I can stay all day? Yeah, they'll take 8. We're open to 8 to 8, and I go, okay, do people come in and find diamonds? She says, yeah. I said, well, surely it's been 1972. You guys have been open. How many diamonds? There can't be any diamonds left. It's only 37 acres. People have been picking through it for 40 years. She goes, yeah, we have 142,000 people a year. We have about 400 people a day. And of those, only about 100 stay at least 3/4 of the day. There's really only about 50 who stay the full day. And of those 50, 2 people a day find a diamond. 2 people a day. I go, you got to be kidding me. Okay, so surely these people they've got special skills. Tell me, I need to know, what are the tools I need to know? Because I'm ready to get on a plane. So what are the tools? She goes, oh, the tools. Let's talk about the tools. You just need a shovel or a hand trowel, a bucket, and a screen set, little sifter. That's all you need. 3 tools. Sound familiar? Like, what's our tools? Oh, tools. And then I go, okay, training. Surely I've got to have years of finely tuning my eyes and my skills for the lost art of finding a diamond, right? Surely it takes some special skills. No, 20 minutes. She goes, I could have you trained up in about 20 minutes. Does that sound familiar, guys? Okay. So I got the tools, I got the training. What's the process? God, there's the secret sauce. What's the process? She goes, oh, here's what you do. You go out in the field, you look for gravel or dirt, dirt that's got some gravel. You just dig it up, put it in a bucket, and then you pour it over the screen and you filter it out till you get the gravel. And then you just look through the gravel and look for the diamonds. That's all you got to do. And you do this all day long. Yeah, you're not limited. You got no limits at all. I go, okay, hold on, because I'm about to get on a plane right now. So I want to know who finds the diamonds. She goes, well, let me just tell you. You want to know who finds the most? Guess what? The regulars. What do you mean the regulars? Who are the regulars? Well, these are the people. They show up in the morning. There's about 10 of them. They come every day when we open, and they turn in their buckets and tools at night, and they're there all day looking for diamonds. I said, so what, they find like 1 or 2 a year? No, let me tell you about Joe. Joe last year found 99 diamonds. 99. He was so mad he didn't find the 100th. He makes his living showing up every day, digging for diamonds. Some people can look for months and not find any. One lady was so frustrated because she came into the park and she was literally like, I got no tools. I got no systems. I don't have any training. And the lady said, look, I know how you feel, but she says, just go out in the field and do what you call look for surface diamonds. She said, it just rained a little bit ago. Just go around and look where it's kind of gravelly and just look on the surface. 3 hours later, no skills, no training, no tools. She runs back with a 4-carat diamond, yelling, screaming. One of the guys that works at the park, a maintenance worker, was pulling his ATV back into the shed, and he looks down and there's a 3-carat diamond in the tread of his ATV. Yeah, they let him keep it. You guys, people have all kinds of tools and tactics and techniques, but the most consistent way is to show up and you'll find a diamond. That's the lesson. Whoever works the hardest is the most consistent, and they show up. They're the ones that find the most diamonds. So if I told you, okay, Dave, there's 100 people that stay most of the day and only 1 or 2 find a diamond. So you say, okay, what's the percentage I'm going to find a diamond, Dave? Yeah, pretty low odds. Haha, 1%, buddy, 2%. for those that don't do math. Actually, wrong. Do you know your percentage of finding a diamond is 100% chance of finding a diamond? Why? Because you are not limited. You can show up until you find the diamond. You can persist until you find the diamond. So I want to ask you, what if you had yourself finding a diamond? What if you had a team of 10 out there every day with shovels? One of them shows up just to say hi. Hey guys, you guys look great. Have fun with that. I got to go do this. And then you got a couple that maybe they stick around for half the day, but you find that one. They're with you morning to sunset. They're ready to help you go. You got 2. Now you've doubled your odds. What if you had a team of 100 guys, 100 people in that field? What do you think the odds are that you're going to find a diamond in that organization, guys? What if you knew the ground was so rich that you just had to turn up enough? Now, here's the crazy thing. We don't have to go get on our hands and knees and dig in dirt. My nails would never forgive me. But guys, with this new product we have, with Project 23 and $1 billion market, we have got to make up our minds that not only are we capable, not only can we recognize that we can find a diamond, not only can we edit ourselves and our pre-programming and reprogram ourselves to know that we will find a diamond, that we'll get through all the rough patches, and that we will go and look and search and persist until we find our diamonds, guys. Let's dig for diamonds this year, my friends. And let's go out and just be the best that we can be. And when you find those diamonds, we're going to celebrate. And guess what? That's when the fun begins, because we're going to go keep looking and keep digging, and we're going to change our lives with this concept. So guys, hopefully that has helped a little bit or given you a little bit of something to work with this year. I know this concept has already changed my life and my thinking. So Sarah, that's all I got. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, it was so good. You guys give him some love right now. That was so good. I have to give you huge props, David. You are incredible storyteller. I don't know if you know that's your strength, but if so, like, keep leaning on that, because I'm just telling you, like, wow, it was so good. I know, like, I already know, I could see these guys. I see a lot of the faces. They were like, this is such good content. And guys, here's the thing, like, I just want to encourage you, like he said, like, make the decision. Be the person that shows up. Be the person that's consistent, right? And consistently marketing our business every single day. And just get ready, right? The one thing I want you guys to be is we want to make sure we're prepared, right, for what's getting ready to happen. You guys are fully equipped. As David said, we are all capable, right, of making it happen. And we're just so excited to do it all together. So again, David, thank you so much for being on. I know that all of these guys got great value out of tonight. Guys, it's going to be a great week. Let's pull it off strong, and excited to see you guys next Monday. So take care, everybody, and let's rock and roll. We'll talk to you soon. Again, David, thank you so much. Love you. Bye-bye.